Hello, my name is Merte Eusse. I'm a PhD candidate of the Department of Surgery from Maastricht. And today I'm going to present you our multi- and transdisciplinary framework we developed to create a more sustainable healthcare and especially the OR. But first let me explain why it's important to focus on the healthcare and the OR. Recently, The Lancet published and defined climate change to be the biggest threat of our century. Climate change will impact the health, but also the society and the environment of all citizens. For example, it is estimated that over the past 20 years, the heat-related death in the elderly has increased with more than 50%, reaching a total of 300,000 deaths by 2018. It is also estimated that $2 to $4 billion will be necessary to treat the health damage caused by climate change. That's one of the reasons why the United Nations described and defined 17 Sustainable Development Goals. One of these goals describes the urge to combat action against climate change. Then why is it important to focus on the healthcare? That's because more than 4% of the greenhouse gas emissions worldwide is produced by the healthcare. And in the Netherlands, especially in Europe, this more even equals to 6 to 8% of the national emissions. Then why is it important to focus on the OR? The OR is one of the major polluters within the healthcare, as 20 to 30% of the waste is produced within the OR. And within the OR, especially laparoscopic surgery and robotic surgery can be seen as a major waste producer. So if we want to switch to a more sustainable healthcare and a more sustainable practice, it's very important to keep the 10R model of a circular economy in mind. Now we're living in a linear economy in which we use a product one time and dispose it after usage. So it's important to switch to a circular economy in which we reuse products multiple times. So now I want to discuss this 10R model with you. So if you look to the top of the 10R model, you see refuse, reduce and rethink. These are the measures you can take when you want to use a product in a smarter way. By taking these actions, you will reduce the emissions in a large scale. So for example, by refuse, you need, for example, to think about taking the bike instead of using the car. Then we go one step below. This means that you can take action to expand the lifespan of a product. For example, by reusing it or by buying a refurbished product. If we look to the bottom of the model, you see recycling and recovering. I want to mention recycling because most of the people think that recycling is the holy grail of sustainability, but as you can see in this model, there are other actions that are much more effective than recycling. So for example, reducing the use or using a product is way more effective than recycling. That's because we need resources to create a product, and when you want to recycle the product, you need again some new resources to create a new product. But when you refuse it, you only use one time, only use the resources one time. So keep this in mind when I continue the presentation. What we noted in the Netherlands is that there are a lot of great initiatives and ideas to transition to a more sustainable healthcare. However, large-scale adoption still remains inclusive. That's why we decided to create the Carefree project. Carefree stands for Creating a Healthier Environment for Future Patients. Carefree is a trans- and multidisciplinary project with two main goals. The first main goal is to gain knowledge and fill the knowledge gaps. The second goal is to investigate the behavior and change behavior in a more sustainable way. During the next slide, I will present you the framework we developed for Carefree. So for the Carefree project, we defined several work packages based on the major polluters within the OR. It is important to mention that for the Carefree project, we developed this framework for the laparoscopic cholecystectomy, so the removal of the gallbladder. So now let's deep digger into this framework. The first work package is refuse surgery. This means that we want to reduce the number of performed surgeries. This because we know that 6 to 8% of the patients who undergo this surgery still have the same abdominal complaints after the procedure. So we want to investigate the criteria and to refine the criteria for surgery so we can inform patients better about the advantages and disadvantages of the surgery, and so we can select patients better who will benefit or won't benefit from surgery. The second work package is defined on the anesthetics. We will compare the intravenous anesthetics, so the anesthetics given in the bloodstream, by the inhalation or the volatile anesthetics. The next work package is defined on the instruments. We want to compare the reusable and disposable instruments. We will focus on the trocars. These are the tubes used during the surgery to insert the other instruments. We choose to focus on the trocars as these instruments are used in all laparoscopic procedures. The next work package is defined to reduce the energy consumption of the OR by reducing the air treatment in a safe way. For now, we know that the air treatment in most hospitals is constantly working at full capacity. However, only 40% of the time the ORs are occupied. So we want to investigate if it is possible to reduce the air treatment in a safe way and causing an energy reduction. Then we also defined a work package on pharmaceutical residues. We know that more than 2 tons of pharmaceutical residues are yearly found in the Dutch wastewater. However, this is still an underestimation, as medication and drugs used in hospitals are not included in this calculation. So within this work package, we want to investigate ways and methods to reduce the pharmaceutical waste in the water. Then there is also another last work package which covers all the other work packages. This is the work package of the app, the digital app we want to develop. First, this app will inform patients about the surgery, the advantages and disadvantages of the surgery, and will help the surgeon to decide whether a patient or not will benefit from the surgery. For the other work packages, this app will inform the clinician about the impact of the alternatives that are possible. So for now, I want to discuss again the 2 aims that I explained to you before. As you can see here, the first aim is to fill the knowledge gaps. And we will fill the knowledge gaps by different outcomes within the different work packages. We want to analyze the economic outcomes of all alternatives, the sustainable outcomes by performing a detailed sustainability analysis by doing a proper life cycle assessment, and we want to investigate the patient-related safety of all the alternatives. The next step is to create a change, and this will be done by the psychology department, who will investigate the behavior of the major stakeholders and will also do some interventions to change the behavior towards a more sustainable way. We also involve the ethics department. They will investigate the moral responsibilities of sustainability, but will also correlate the moral responsibilities of the healthcare to sustainable practice. Last but not least, we will do an MCDA, a multi-criteria decision analysis. Within this analysis, we will define and create a committee. This committee will define the knowledge gaps, and we believe that these knowledge gaps will partly be solved by our first aim. Next, this committee will define and create guidelines and policies to stimulate a change to a more sustainable healthcare. And this is the overall approach we developed for the Carefree project. As I discussed before, this framework is developed for the laparoscopic cholecystectomy, but we believe that the knowledge and insights that will be gained during this project will be applicable to other surgeries, other departments within the healthcare, and also other sectors outside the healthcare. And this brings me to the end of my presentation. I would like to end my presentation with a powerful meaning from Professor Mati. She's the first African woman who received the Nobel Prize of Peace due to all her efforts to combat climate change. She became known because of the story of the hummingbird. She always told people that there was a big forest fire and there was just one small hummingbird flying to the forest fire and back to the river stream to bring water and to reduce the fire. And that's exactly how we need to behave. We need to take action right now. However big or small our actions are, it's very important that we take action right now to save our planet for our generation and especially for our future generations. And that's the main message I want to give you. Please take action right now in every way it's possible for you. So thank you for your attention and watching this video. Please feel free to contact me if you have any suggestions or questions. Thank you.